The Science of Consciousness. 1. Science rediscovers consciousness. Science now investigates consciousness and subjective experience with the same seriousness given to physical observation, creating bridges between scientific inquiry and ancient spiritual traditions. From this wider perspective, everything in the universe organizes itself from a unified field often described as zero-point energy, revealing a world that is far more interconnected, dynamic, and purposeful than the old belief in a universe drifting toward meaninglessness. This shift rehumanizes science by acknowledging the depth of our inner life. 2. The two worlds once united. Before science and spirituality were split apart, ancient cultures studied the physical and the mystical as one seamless reality, exploring the microcosm and macrocosm through alchemy, geometry, astronomy, and philosophy. The roots of the university were built on this unity, where a single student could aim to master the full range of human knowing. The later separation of faith and science created two domains that rarely speak the same language, which is why modern disciplines often feel disconnected and unable to communicate. 3. Words shape the worlds we live in. As science evolved, it developed a vocabulary so different from everyday speech that entire fields became islands unto themselves, creating gaps in understanding even between people who share similar intentions. This divide widened as technology elevated scientists into the cultural role once held by priests, making rational thought seem superior while pushing faith and metaphysics to the margins. The result is a society where people often talk past each other rather than sharing a common picture of reality. 4. Science points back to mystery. Some of the most influential scientists, including Einstein, viewed science and spirituality as complementary rather than opposed, sensing that logic alone cannot explain the full mystery of existence. The progression from classical geometry to Newtonian motion and then to quantum mechanics gradually revealed that the universe is far less rigid and predictable than once believed. These breakthroughs show that the deepest structures of reality operate beyond the reach of purely rational thinking. 5. The observer shapes what is observed. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle revealed that a subatomic particle's path does not exist independently of the observer, dissolving the long-held belief in objectivity. At the smallest scales, reality responds to our attention, making the observer a participant rather than a detached witness. This realization forms the scientific basis for the idea that separation is an illusion and that everything in the universe is part of a single interdependent system. 6. See reality as vibrating consciousness in motion. String theory proposes that all matter and forces arise from tiny vibrating loops that create harmonics, much like musical notes forming chords. This vision aligns naturally with ancient mystical teachings that describe creation as an interplay of energy and vibration. Science and spirituality, once divided, now meet in a shared understanding of a unified field where every form is connected and alive with movement and resonance. 7. Intention directly influences reality. Modern physics agrees that the observer affects the outcome of observation, yet avoids addressing the deeper question of purpose. Spiritual teachings go further by suggesting that human choices, thoughts, and intentions shape the environment around us. The universe responds to the focus of our attention through patterns of attraction, which means we draw toward us what we love or what we fear, depending on where we place our inner spotlight. 8. Direct your attention toward love, not fear. Every day presents a subtle choice about where to place awareness, and this choice changes the quality of the life we experience. Focusing on what we cherish draws more of it into our experience, while dwelling on what we fear magnetizes the very outcomes we hope to avoid. Our inner focus acts like a tuning fork that signals the universe, and reality rearranges itself around the vibration we hold most strongly. 9. See yourself as a player with creative power. The spiritual game board describes a universe where all parts interact and influence one another through natural energetic pathways, and within that system, the human being is not a pawn but a conscious participant. You sit at the game board with the ability to choose, act, observe, and shape your path. Life becomes a multi-dimensional experience rather than a flat sequence of events when you step back by an act of will and choose to see the deeper game unfolding beneath the surface of ordinary living.